And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes. I got that headband on that all the super sweaty football players from your school wear, but you know what? It is effective for the cause that I need it, which is to keep my hair back so I don't look like Jonathan Taylor Thomas in the 90s, but like minus 90% attractiveness. You know, it is what it is. I kind of got like a whole guy who wears too much Harley stuff vibe going on right now, which is definitely not the vibe I'm going for. I don't cook meth yet. Anyways, let's take a look at the market in NBA 2K22. My team, dude. This is the first true market crash that we've received. I'm dead serious. I stand firm on this. No market crash has been as wild as this one. Like, no, it's just not possible. Like, people have been saying there's been market crashes all year, and to a certain extent, they're not totally wrong, but the market crashes today are insane. A completely different beast, really. Normally, I talk about the skill challenges and stuff like that. Dude, honestly, none of that matters. Like, you shouldn't even play them. It's like, whatever. You can play them if you absolutely feel like it, but it's whatever. The new events are absolutely pointless as well, dude, unless you want Gordon back to Blue Hayward, which I'm pretty sure you can get him for 2,000 MT. I don't really think you need to play this for him, but you can stack MT, I guess, if you so choose. I mean, I don't know. The market is decimated, dude. Like, these packs have absolutely destroyed the market. I've opened so many of them, there's really no point to open any other ones. The thing I will say about these packs is if you're opening these in any way, shape, or form to, like, stack MT, it's a seriously bad idea. It's a very bad idea. I mean, there's endgame cards going for under 20,000 MT, specifically like AD and some other ones that I'll cover, but it's a bad idea. Honestly, the Invincible cards are kind of holding their value a little bit better, just a slight better than the endgame cards, because why would anyone open Invincible packs when you have endgame packs right here? But I personally actually prefer a lot of the Invincible cards because they're unique in some capacity. I know that sounds like a cop-out reason, but like, I like my cards to be different. You know, not just have the same two jump shots, but maybe that's just me. Let's look at the market in general. First off, a couple key things have happened that I wanted to discuss, right? One, the endgame super packs are out, and the Invincible super packs as well, so it's crashed the market on every single one of those cards. But number two, the bots are gone. Now, there's been a lot of contention with the bots because I saw something about it this morning, and I was just, usually when 2K people start talking about bots, I typically tune them out because I don't know how accurate that is. But this case, very accurate, and this happens every single year around this time, right? The reason that I think that it's 2K doing this and not the MT companies is because it happens the same time every single year. The MT companies, it is still in their best interest to keep the prices at least partially high so people will go and buy MT. 2K, it's actually in their best interest to just nuke the market completely. So I think these auto buy bots are actually maybe possibly both, but I think 2K definitely has a hand in it personally. I do anyway. But the auto bot are gone. They're gone. The Decepticons reign. It is what it is. Now, the reason I say that is because typically when it comes to Dark Matters, I mean, you would see Dark Matters go at an absolute low of about 8K. You've seen that with Opals as well. Opals would go for an absolute low at like, you know, roughly around 5,000 MT. I mean, that's what we've been seeing for weeks. Pink Diamonds, that's just buyout. Like, it doesn't really matter. But now we're seeing cards absolutely tank, dude. It is insane. Right? I've completed a bunch of sets for no reason, just for funsies. Like, it really doesn't matter anymore at this point. Like, I bought Chet Holmgren for 5,000 MT. Like, and mine has 50 Hoff badges and a shoe and a contract. For 5,000 MT, I bought this card for, and I wouldn't even consider this a snipe, dude, because there's that many of them up at this point. Yeah, you might click on him and be like, wow, man, he's still going for 40K. No, he's not. I promise. Like, the amount of Dark Matters going for about 5,000 MT right now is ridiculous. Like, I bought every single card from this next set that I didn't have. So that was Dyson, Jabari Smith, Paolo, and Chet Holmgren. Every single one of them was between 8 and 5,000 MT. Every single one. And all of them have badge upgrades to a certain extent, except Jabari, who I just bought the cheapest one because I don't really care. Crazy. I filled out pretty much every squad. Like, I bought John Wall for like 4,900 MT. Like, Origin I already had filled out, but I bought Bull for super cheap. I bought him for 6,000 MT. Like, the Invincibles, I bought David Robinson for 32, which I bet I could even get him lower, honestly, at this point. Now, if you're looking to pick up cards for as cheap as humanly possible, just wait till later. Give it about 4 or 5 hours and then go cruising, because people are going to get off work and they're going to start ripping packs, dude. And these cards are going to be dirt cheap. Now, it may look like I came up super hard off D-Rob, but that's not the case. Like, it's possible maybe, but we're seeing a huge decrease, and we're going to see cards come down even more the rest of tonight and throughout the coming weeks. These packs are never going away, and people are going to get, fiendy and get pack fiend, and they're going to start opening packs. So I'm going to go ahead and just start grabbing some of these guys once they start going low. Guys like Manu, like guys I normally wouldn't grab. Klay Thompson you can get from limited, so he'll be like 10,000 MT, like legitimately. Garnett's another guy that I think will be up there, like very cheap relatively soon. There's going to be certain cards that are going to stay up in value, like certain Kawhis, like T-Mac. I mean, there's still going to be buyouts for sure, but they're going to be down. Yao Ming would be another one. I think he stays over, maybe not necessarily over 100K, but he probably stays over like 60, I would assume. Vince Carter is actually one of the more expensive ones, or at least he was this morning, which is kind of crazy. Cade's dropping, he's bottoming him out. Like Paul George, I think stays up a little bit just because like Paul George doesn't have another version. Melo's cheap. Luka was cheap, which is crazy. I did not expect that to happen, but we're seeing Luka drop in price. Kristaps is down in price. I mean, every one of these cards is down in price. Shout out to my boy Tracy McGrady. He is absolutely bottomed out, especially if a card has like a 5 Hoff badge less equivalent for significantly less MT. You're going to see these cards drop like crazy. Anthony Davis is going to be cheap. You can fill out your all-time teams like crazy if you really want to go that route. I mean, Pau Gasol's literally like 20K. And there's end games that are 20K, obviously. Like Kobe's a buyout. There's really nothing. I mean, there's no reason not to pick these cards up. If you want these cards, go pick them up. I've picked up a few cards already. Like, I'm going to pick up Invincible Dwayne Wade for sure, because he was on the wheel today, too, and he's in the packs. Like, none of these cards are holding really value, except Kawhi kind of is, but doesn't really matter. I mean, there's still the opportunity to make a bunch of MT if you badge up these cards and put them up, but for the most part, I think it's like, it's not a good time. Young Kyrie's out here still, dude. You can get him for free if you really want to, but it's really personal opinion on if you want to go ahead and grind for Kyrie. It doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun to me personally. Cavaliers JR, who I forgot even existed, is out here. The only card that is over 100K at least consistently that I can see is Invincible Taco. And Invincible Taco is just like this shade, this smidgen worse than Endgame Taco. He can't move as well, but Taco's still so heavy that he can't really engage a lot of the behind the back dribble moves anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So they're basically just like useless. And the Taco jump shot I think is very on par with Set Shot 25. On current gen, I think this Taco is actually better because Set Shot 25 can't shoot from the corner. So if you run Taco at power forward, which a lot of people do, you're actually going to be in for like a pleasant surprise. Evan Mobley is another guy I'm going to look to pick up because I think he's one of the more slept on Invincibles in this game, period. Michael Jordan is really cheap, and he's still like one of, if not the best, point guard on current gen, for sure. This Michael Jordan's out here too, still really cheap. I picked up Scottie Pippen for about 20K. Had to rep my boy Scottie. Giannis's release is still fire. You can get away with running Giannis just fine. Ben Simmons is out here, although he's a little sluggish, like he can still hold it down. A lot of Invincibles are cheap. Endgame cards. Endgame cards are kind of wild, right? We're seeing some absolutely devastating endgame prices at this moment. Like, we've seen a lot of buyouts early in the day. The reason that cards were so much cheaper this morning is 2K messed up. I firmly believe if you watch my pack opening, you'll see it happening in real time. I believe they messed up the odds in some capacity this morning, right? Where the odds were significantly lower than they were supposed to be this morning. Or higher, I'm sorry. They're supposed to be way lower. But 2K messed it up. I mean, my first like 10 packs, I pulled like a ridiculous amount of endgames. I pulled Kevin Durant. I don't think I pulled Tracy McGrady. I pulled Durant for sure. I pulled Taco, and I pulled this LeBron. And those are three of the more expensive Invincibles still left in this game. Granted, Kevin Durant is a buyout, or at least was last I saw. LeBron's kind of tough. It's LeBron, so you never really know. The only one that seems to have really hold value is Taco. Taco is still very expensive, and I think he will come down. He's not going to be 800 to a million like he was before, but I still think he's probably around 400 or 500K, which at this stage, dude, the thing is, MT gets you a lot farther than it did just like 5 days ago. Like, I would be willing to say, and this is going to be a contentious thing to say, but I think 500k MT gets you about as far as like 1.5 million would have gotten you just like 4 or 5 days ago. Like, I'm not even kidding. With what everything is going for, 500k is basically enough to just ride out the end of the lifespan, honestly. Like, it is. Like, Ben Simmons is still expensive. There's going to be ones that are still expensive. Ben Simmons, Giannis, Taco. LeBron's kind of a toss-up, but, you know, he could still be expensive. And Yao Ming. Those are the ones that are still going to be expensive in some capacity because they're the most overpowered cards in the game for sure. But any other ones you can get for relatively cheap. Luka's not that expensive. The reason being is his Invincible is better on next gen. So the only way he would be expensive is this is the only quote-unquote usable Luka on current gen. So he'd be relatively cheap. T-Mac, but I think even he's a buyout at this point, which is crazy. He's fire, dude. He really is. Kareem, that plays point guard, definitely probably still expensive. I haven't really looked into him too much, but he's still holding it down. I used all my MT this morning just ripping these packs for funsies. I don't have enough to afford a lot of these cards. I don't really care, to be honest. Jordan was a buyout last time I checked. Let's take a look and let's just see what endgames are buyouts because I'm curious. First things, we'll start with the ones that I don't have yet, right? We'll start with the ones I don't have because I bought up a bunch of them, right? So I got JR, Scotty Barnes, Anthony Davis. They're all like 20,000 MT. Larry Bird's about 20,000 MT too. And if you're on next gen, Larry Bird is phenomenal, right? How cheap can we get endgames specifically? Like 20k, I believe is what they were going for before, 20k and under, which is a stupid price. Like, absolutely ridiculous price. Looks like they've calmed down a little bit, but I think that we'll see them pop back up for this price point over the course of the next few hours, just because more people are going to get home and start ripping packs. And there's VC only guaranteed endgame packs. People are definitely going to be pulling those. They shouldn't, for sure. You should absolutely not do that. But if you got VC left over anyway, yeah, of course you're going to do it. Luka's 25,000. Now this is set shot 25 Luka, not quite as good, but at the shooting guard position, you could definitely hold it down in that regard. It's just from the corners that you're going to run into issues. Anthony Davis is out here for super cheap. He's not the greatest card in the world, but still more than usable. Larry Bird on next gen, chef's kiss, phenomenal. I think the Invincible is a little bit better on current gen because he can wet from the corners. Shooting guard, small forward, Michael Jordan out here. Set shot 25, Michael Jordan still out here. Set shot 25, Magic Johnson is cheap. Like, you could really stack your team with like random guys that are incredibly good. Now looking at like other cards, like Glitch Taco's out here, and if he's a buyout, which he is, just grab Glitch Taco. Glitch Taco is phenomenal. I mean, my man has like 60 plus Hoff badges. A lot of people have put Hoff badges on him too. So I mean, you're not really losing when it comes to Glitch Taco. He's got a wet jump shot. He's still Taco. Like, he's huge, obviously. He's not really dribbling, but he moves smooth as butter, dude. Smooth as ice. Which I don't know. That one never really made sense to me. Smooth as ice. I mean, ice is kind of gritty for the most part. I mean, the only ice I've seen that's ever, like, super smooth is, like, that ice that they use in, like, the action figures commercials, you know, where the action figures come in and, like, kick that shit across the room. That looks like pretty smooth ice. I found out that was fake ice, and as a child, I didn't know that. So I used to, like, take ice cubes out of the fridge, and I would wonder why it never worked the way it did in the commercials. Then I found out they're just clear blocks. Yeah, I felt pretty stupid. I was also 5, so shut up, you know? All these cards are cheap, dude. I've just been buying so much stuff. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm probably going to cop this Wilt Chamberlain because it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to grab the other Wilt because Bill Russell's still ridiculously expensive. There's only certain things that are still even holding their value at this point. And there's not very many things that even are. I'm kind of curious to see. I kind of want Amari Stoudemire, so I want to know what's up. I think it's the Stoudemire signature event. Yeah, so these are still kind of expensive, but not really even. These have kind of like got nerfed in price as well, which is sick, dude. I'm glad that they have, because like you can get Amari Stoudemire for really cheap. And honestly, I would like that too, because it's like, we're not getting another Amari Stoudemire. Like, that's not happening, dude. It's absolutely not going to occur that we get another Amari. There's no way. Like, there is absolutely no way. Donovan Mitchell has the most expensive signature. Like, I would probably get Kenyon Martin at this point if he wasn't so pricey, dude. But like, it doesn't matter either way. There's so many things that are cheap. Now, the question I've been asked is like, what is still expensive? Not a whole lot, if I'm being honest. Like, not a whole lot is still pricey. You can still get a decent amount of MT for your diamond contracts if that's something you want to go and do. I personally am just going to keep mine. I don't really think it matters. Maybe I'll sell them if I need the MT, but I mean, you can get about 10 to 15K for them, so it's not like the most MT in the world. That's what they were going for earlier. I'm wondering if they kind of spiked up in price due to the demand from everybody getting these endgame cards, though. That's kind of what I'm wondering, but looks like the price is still relatively the same. I think the coaches might still be going for an okay amount too, so if you have any of these like Galaxy Opal coaches, you should definitely sell them. Lenny Wilkins is... Where's Don Nelson at, dude? Don Nelson, remember when he was going for like millions of MT for a little while, dude? That was so crazy. Oh, man, that was wild. Wild times in 2K22. Now, we do have Season 9 coming up. I mean, it's just going to be like a redo season with like a bunch of old... I'm hoping reward cards, but it remains to be seen what 2K is actually going to do with that. But that being said, if you're looking for any of these cards, and I mean any, dude, like you are wanting to grab anything at this point that's basically like a dark matter or above, now is the time to do it. I mean, you can get stuff for so cheap. It's ridiculous how cheap some of these cards are. If you're a collector, if you want to build certain like theme teams or anything of that nature, like now's the best time to do it. Just because everything is so dirt cheap, everyone's just pillaging their collection to be able to afford end games, which I understand, but also I don't think it's the greatest idea in the world. You know, now's your time to shine, dude. You can really come up. You can lock in for tokens. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. Except get Bill Russell. Bill Russell's still like 300K. People still want Wilt, dude. I mean, Wilt's got Luka base. He's still really good, obviously. So it's like whatever. Certain token cards are still going to be expensive, like your Justice Winslow's, your Brandon Jennings, like token gatekeepers, basically. Those guys are still going to hold it down, JaVale. So you can still make some MT in that regard. And people will buy them because a lot of people are just locking in for stuff at this point. You know, they're just locking in sets, hoping there's going to be some sort of token reward. That's what a lot of people are doing. So there's a distinct possibility you can come up on certain cards if you really so choose to do that. And I don't think it's necessarily like a horrible idea. I think it's all right, man. If you want to do it, then for sure. Like, go for it. It doesn't really matter. You got no one left to impress, dude. It's fine. Certain cards like Mitch Richmond are pretty expensive, too. I mean, you'll get a little bit of MT for that if you're trying to, like, get someone who's collecting cards. But, you know, it's whatever. James Harden's dirt cheap, but no one cares. The card's old anyway. So, hey, my recommendation, go pick up whoever you want. Have fun. As always, it's been your boy, Cheap Ludes. Being that 2K is dead, I'm going to be dropping a bunch of random content for the foreseeable future. I mean, obviously, I'm going to still play 2K. I'm going to still do 2K content. Obviously, it's what my channel is. But in the meantime, I got to put out videos. So I'm going to be putting out all types of random videos, man. Like, if you have any specific games you want me to play, anything specific you think would be fun to do, holler at me, jump in the comments, let me know. But other than that, I'll probably be live later. So definitely come check me out on Twitch, dude. I'm going to be doing something. I'm not sure. Also, like, if you haven't already, dude, I'm going to link a couple of my other videos that are non-2K related at the end of this video. You should check them out. They're a fun time. So, peace.